Up next, we have Matthew Bingham from Attochron. If I could introduce him onto the stage, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here today at the Capacity Innovation Series. I'm Matthew Bingham, and I'm the CEO of Azuz IT and 4G Yacht, and I'm here today representing our partner and one of the coolest companies that I've worked with, Attochron. Now, Attochron was founded in 2004 by Tom Chaffee, and over the past 14 years has completed in-depth testing, has filed many patents, including many international patents, has completed testing well below the required guidelines, has been giving investment in the form of private equity and angel investors, and has worked with technical experts from free space optic research companies such as AstroTerra, Lucent, Bell Labs, FSO Communications, and excuse me, Terranaut. Just to move on. I want to kick off just talking about a couple of the known pain points we discuss when we're talking about telecommunications, and in particular two, when we're discussing the cell tower. So our research shows that in 50% of cell towers, fiber optic cabling is just too expensive, and that microwave is limited by capacity and spectrum. The IR device looks to drive new traffic capabilities into your existing cabling and also offload the network backhaul on your microwave assets. So the gist here is that the IR device works with and complements your current network infrastructure. So whilst we're talking about cabling, and in particular fiber optics, and I know there's a lot of fiber companies here today, so this might be quite interesting. But fiber optic cable, we know, runs beneath the ground. And since working with Attochron, I think in the term of fiber space optics. So rather than having the data running from point A to B in a cable under the ground, it runs in air from point A to B. So let me explain this in a bit more detail. So imagine we have a fiber optic cable running beneath the ground. And imagine the data that is running from point A to B within that cable. Now, imagine we didn't need the cable. And imagine the data is running from point A to B in the air via an ultra-short pulse laser beam that is invisible to the eye, and it's running at 1 to 10 gigs per second. Now, that is what Attochron is capable of doing right now. And with current speeds of 1 gigabit per second and achievable speeds of 10 gigabit per second, the ultra-short pulse laser is much faster than conventional microwave backhaul links. In addition, the IR uses a protected link to offload the majority of non-mission critical internet data. So let's just run down a couple of the benefits here. So there is a lower cost of installation because there's no fiber cabling involved. It is almost zero latency because it's running on a laser. It has a fast deployment time. Because we're using an ultra-short pulse laser that uses a femtosecond burst rate rather than a continuous wave laser, which uses a nanosecond burst rate, it is virtually unaffected by weather. And because of that, it's much faster than a microwave link as well. Now, we envisage that we can grow as the networks grow. So we are talking about achievable speeds of 25, 40, 100 gigs plus through the air via a laser beam. Now, Attochron recently completed field testing between a remote site on a hillside and a hospital, and the distance between the 2 points was 1.25 kilometers, and they were sending a constant 1 gig per second rate via Ethernet. But any protocol can be used, which is why it's also great for direct enterprise access. Attochron are currently working on demo kits and kits to aid in disaster recovery. Now, a couple of you may be wondering about the weather aspects when it comes to laser. So, as I mentioned, the ultra-short burst compared to the continuous wave burst means that we can get through weather much better. And in fact, Attochron filed a patent in February this year outlining the full extent and advantages for the ultra-short pulse laser. I realize I've just talked about network backhaul traffic at the moment for the laser, but we see other potential applications as well. So we're thinking direct link access to things like large hotels, villas, houses, and rural communities. But not just that, and this is what I think is really cool, and our customers have given us great feedback about this. But we have the equipment purchased, and we are currently looking to develop a laser that is capable of targeting a moving object, such as a super yacht. In addition, we can target the Earth-to-satellite market, because that is currently using traditional microwave, which is exhausted capacity, and satellite-to-satellite. Satellite-to-satellite communications are currently done by a continuous wave, and our ultra-short pulse laser has a distinct advantage on that. So the current status of our equipment: the equipment is available to purchase now. We are working with established OEMs for lasers and other parts to further improve the device. We are currently capable of sending a 1 gigabit per second signal over a 4-kilometer distance and a 10 gigabit per second signal over a 2-kilometer distance, and that's improving all the time. And the IR integrates directly into existing industry standard fiber and electric cabling, which is why it's good for not only backhaul, but direct enterprise access as well. So a couple of the cost-saving benefits we've outlined already here. So there is no digging required, no cabling involved. It's quick to set up. It's easy to redirect. So if you wanted to redirect to a different cell tower, that's no problem. If you wanted direct link access into a major event, for example, that's no problem either. And there is no spectrum licensing involved with this product either. So just to recap before I go off today, it is more affordable to deploy than fiber optical cabling. It is faster than a microwave link, thanks to its ultra-short pulse femtosecond rate versus the continuous wave nanosecond rate. And because of that, it is also almost unaffected by weather conditions. It requires minimal maintenance, and we can train your engineers to install and maintain these devices as well, saving you further costs. So that's the Attochron IR. Thank you for listening today. If you have any questions or want to speak about potential investment opportunities, potential user case scenarios, please just give me a tap after the presentation. Thank you.